Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Now, I may be saying something that y'all already have figured out, and I may be introducing somebody that you have already met. But nonetheless, for those that don't know, what I'm going to do today is just let the family know that our young brother, young Marcus, is the future. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that because ever so often, you know, we don't see a lot of our elders hold up the youth. You know what I'm saying? As somebody who was once a young aspiring student sitting at the feet of the masses, I always, you know, I was very eager to wait the turn for my teachers to turn around and say, look, young God, pull me up. Like, yo, your time is now. The stage is set and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So knowing how our people are suffering, especially the youth. You know what I mean? I was in certain situations in Detroit where I personally saw the plight of the youth, and it was horrible. It was horrific. The way that they're funneling them through the system and things of that nature. Coming out of New York, coming out of BK, coming out of Flatbush. I know what happened to my generation in the 90s. You dig what I'm saying? I know what has been going on to generations before that. I know that as I do research, I'm seeing people like the Nixon administration come forward and they say, yo, our policy purposelessly was to go against Black America with this war on poverty. The war on drugs was really a war on a Black Messiah. So it is very imperative and it is very important for a brother like me to let the family know that I'm fully supportive of my brother Marcus. Anything that I have to do to set a stage, to let the brother come and open up, to bring him on our radio show, to put him in the light where he belongs, because there are young brothers that are 16, 17, 18-year-old, and they need to know that there's someone that looks like them, talks like them, walks like them, that is doing the work and has the mental capacity to articulate himself and also to look at the things that are going on. He's like a social engineer on the right side right now. So I'm just here to give the brother support, let him know that I'm watching, I'm listening and whatnot. I'm encouraging him to continue to study, you know, and just to know that this is not an easy road. You know what I'm saying? Some people might not make it easy for you, but that doesn't mean that they hate you. That doesn't mean that they're bitter. That doesn't mean that they don't want you to shine. They just may they may be doing what happened to them when they came and they got tested. You dig what I'm saying? So they feel like they got to return the favor to the young guys that are coming in. So, you know, salute. What I want to know is what's coming up in the future for Marcus. You know, what is it that you may need? Because what we're also doing is letting the family know who may have resources, what young Marcus needs to propel his information and to propel himself into a bigger platform.
If you ever want to give young Marcus, me, any kind of gift, anytime you see me, just give me a book. I don't care what it's about. Just give me a book, because I read. I know I read. I'm not gonna sit here and say I read more than any scholar, but I just know I read. So I could chop books up in a millisecond. So just give me a book when you see me, and I'll do the rest. Feel me? Because I want to be independent for the most part. So all I really want is just resources that are gonna help me produce what I actually want.
No doubt. No doubt. What is the field of study right now that you find most interesting, that is pulling you in a direction and speaking to you? Like, what field of study would that be?
I would say science, ultimately. Like, truth be told, because me being a soft atheist or a pantheist, science and just mathematics is more of a spiritual thing for me. So that's why I decided to learn programming. That's why I decided to just indulge myself in sciences and just indulge myself in what I'm learning. So I would say science has definitely did a number on me. I'm infatuated with what I learned. Like, I love learning about the natural phenomenon of life. So that's really it. As far as it goes, I feel like that's the most effective thing for our people, because it incorporates math, science, physics, all of these things that can help us effectively manifest and produce things that will work in convenience for our people. So I definitely think that science did a number on me.
That's interesting that you said that, Marcus, because when we study the ancient African traditional systems and some of the high civilizations, we could easily draw a conclusion that Africans are mathematical scientific geniuses. It's almost innate, right? It's almost in their DNA. And I also heard you mention something about programming. Are you referring to coding?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. You know, I am a proponent of, you know, learning coding languages. I'm a proponent of, you know, getting into STEAMs. The European calls it STEM. But when we study Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he came forward with that before they did, and he brought forth something that's called STEAMs: science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. So to hear you say that is definitely, you know, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier, that I see you as the future. What I want to know from you as a unbiased, you know, person who is coming in, an unbiased teacher or an unbiased scholar who is entering in the community, you know, what is it that you see about the conscious community, pros and cons, as a young God coming in? You dig what I'm saying? What is it that you see in the community in a pro and a con way that you want to add on?
Pros and cons of the conscious community. I think being in the conscious community gives you greater opportunity to saturate your mind and consciousness so that you can further develop what you know.
Yes.
I think it gives you more of a sense of unity and community because you start to learn that you're not the only one that knows the truth about our people.
Yes.
You feel more connected to black people. You feel more conscious, connected to reality and what's truly going on.
Yes.
So I think that's truly the pros of the conscious community. I say the cons of the conscious community is that the Willie Lynch paradigms are what we exhibit on a daily basis, but we're so egotistical that we fail to realize it. So for instance, us being so marginalized, in the Willie Lynch letter he said, I'll take the smallest differences and make them the biggest. So we have these militant brothers right here, the Moorish Americans. We got different factions of Islam. We got different factions of Christianity. We got different factions of the Hebrew Israelite. So we're not only separated, but we have splinter separations within those separations. So
Fragments.
we further marginalize ourselves, and we truly manifest the reality of Willie Lynch. We produce the legacy of Willie Lynch, but we feel that we're conscious, so we don't recognize. So we don't have enough humility to step back and see, like, God damn, we're really creating the same paradigms and perpetuating the same paradigms that the white man created. But since we think we're conscious, since we lack humility, we fail to see the reality that goes on. And lately in the community, you know, you've seen leaders at conflict. Little do we know, it's the same Jim Crow paradigm, and most of the conflict stems from disagreement and scholarship. Disagreement and scholarship should never lead to a potential physical altercation, because it's scholarship at the end of the day. We got to handle things with diplomacy. But the fact that this white man has programmed and embedded in us such a psychology, it causes us to act in certain ways. And then when people get into their ego and start feeling like they know something, they don't have enough humility to step back and see that they're actually producing a reality they're trying to step away from.
We're gonna leave it on that. Wisdom coming out of the mouth of the youth. Like, there's nothing more to be said. Let that marinate, family. This is what he sees from his innocent eyes about the community that he is into. Are we going to protect them in the community? Do we want him to come into a burning house? Or are we going to put ego to the side and fix what this young man just identified? It is a very detrimental situation that he just identified. It's almost a cancer. So salute, Marcus. Like I said, we riding with you. You know what I mean? This is we BK for life.
You already
You know what I mean? Flatbush for life. You know, I feel like it's my duty to make sure that this brother's his path is cleared out of the way. We making sure that we're gonna clear the path so he comes through and does the work. Salute. All right, no doubt.